Threeism is the episode that finally sets Series 9's story fully in motion, thanks to not only featuring longer appearances from Megan and Joe, but also the return of April, a character who initially appeared all the way back in Series 2's University Challenge, who is now also married to Angus, a guy that I think is almost impossible to look at as anything other than character we had to make up to be a stand-in for Professor McLeish from Darty because we couldn't get Peter Capaldi back. I still quite like him though, he's something a bit different from the usual types of characters that pop up in Peep Show. April's return does somewhat make sense when you're halfway through what is potentially your final series. That's probably a bit too late to introduce a brand new character to plausibly have a somewhat serious relationship with Mark, and she's one of the few women he didn't end things disastrously with in the past. I don't mind her here, and I do find her a bit more interesting in this episode than in her initial one, but the way in which she's reintroduced feels a bit rushed. Going from not being mentioned in 40 episodes to immediate friendship and tepid courting doesn't seem like Mark's usual trajectory. But hey, maybe it's changed since his breakup with Dobby. Megan and Joe are the other couple in this episode who then get involved in a three-way relationship with Jez. My question is, why? Why exactly are these two both going crazy for Jeremy? An artsy, sexually adventurous woman and party-going man both fall head over heels for a late 30s loser man-child because he did some shitty life coaching. I think Joe and Megan had the potential to be a lot better than they are, and this episode certainly had a good setup that should have allowed them to be more fleshed out, but they really fall flat for me. Neither of them have a quirk, their thing, beyond predictable sex drama. The dinner party is the focus of this episode, and it's pretty funny. I especially like Jeremy's questions to Angus and all the weird food and drink Mark creates with the stuff he is laying around like it's a maniacal ready steady cook. I find Mark's childlike up-close giggling and laughing in the kitchen really uncomfortable to watch for some reason, like it genuinely unsettles me more than anything else in Peep Show, though it does kind of go with the Mark being a bit crazy idea that this episode is running with. I think this is the best episode of the current series so far, though I'm not sure whether that's more indicative of the quality of this episode or of the two prior. Within the scope of the whole show I don't think it stands out particularly, but amongst these later episodes with the relatively small scale, only somewhat contrived story, as well as the decent amount of fun and memorable lines, make it certainly better than the previous two in my opinion.